Hello guys, and welcome to first session of parametric design in CATIA. In this session, I will start with a very simple example to show you how you can create simple parameters and relate them to your design. First, we should enter part design module of CATIA. As I said, I start with a very simple example. I'm gonna design a simple rectangular block with some holes on it. I want to control all characteristics of this part parametrically. You can find the plot of this part in this session's attachments. Okay, the position of this rectangle is not very important for me, really. So I just draw a simple rectangle like this. I measure the dimensions of this rectangle by dimension tool. As you can see, I just draw a rectangle with arbitrary dimensions. Now I'm going to create two length parameters which I need them to control these dimensions of this rectangle. First, you should find knowledge toolbox and use formula to create these parameters. When you choose this tool, this window will open where you can create all different types of parameters. First and most important toolbar which you need is this one. In this bar you can choose the state of parameters which you want to create. As you can see, you can find all parameters you will probably need in mechanical engineering. Okay, I want to control the dimensions of this rectangle. So I create two parameters with the state of length. When I choose my favorite parameter, then I should click on new parameter right after that. By clicking on that, this new parameter will be created and you can find it in tree diagram here with the value of 0. When I choose my favorite parameter, yes. I should say these changes in tree diagram will happen if you have done the settings I explained in introduction section. Now I want to change the name of this parameter to A. All I should do is to change the name in this bar and click on apply. As you can see, the name of this rectangle changed immediately on tree diagram. I also can put an initial. We created the parameter which we need, but how we can relate this parameter to our design? How we can create a relation between this dimension and this parameter? This dimension is mentioned simply by its value. If I double click on it, this window will open where you can change the quantity of the variable. I can simply change the value to 280. As you can see, length changed, but I want to relate this variable to this parameter. All I should do is to right click on this bar and choose edit formula. In the open window, which is very important, you should choose the parameter which you want this length to be related to. Now you can see the change. This fx means this length controlled parametrically, and the user can change it directly by changing the related parameter. I simply choose a as related parameter to this variable and then click on OK. As you can see, the quantity of this variable changed to quantity of a, which is 200, and is faded a little bit, which means I can't change it from here anymore. Now the length will change according to the related parameter immediately. For example, if I put 300, you can see the change in length. I'm going to create another parameter for second direction. Same as before, I choose formula from knowledge toolbox, length, create new parameter, change the name to B, and change the quantity to 150, and then confirm it. As you can see, B is created also, just like previous one. Here, double click here, right click on this bar, edit formula. This time choose B and click on OK. Dimensions of this rectangle block are mentioned totally parametrically. This fx is the sign of this parametrical design. Right now I decided to create another parameter, c, with the value of 500 to control the length of the pad for this part. All I should do is to right click on this bar and choose edit formula. Exactly same window opens again, and this time choose C as the related parameter. I want to add holes in this block, and I want to control the numbers of these holes parametrically. So just follow the plot. First, I draw a circle in this plane in arbitrary diameter and a certain position. As I said, I just following the plot. Dimensions of and the position of these holes are not very important for me right now. All I care about is the number of them. Now I just use pocket tool here, and I choose up to last, because if you put a specific number in here, you may face a problem in future by changing the length of pad in this block. As you can see, there is just one hole in this part right now, and I want to control numbers of holes in this part parametrically. First, I use the rectangular pattern tool to pattern this hole in these two directions. Here, let me find rectangular pattern. Here, rectangular pattern, and choose the pocket as the object to pattern, and then as reference direction choose this line for first direction. If I select the preview, you can see that the pattern is created perfectly. I go for the second direction, just like first one. Let me put 40 on it, like the plot. Now I'm going to create two new parameters to use for controlling the numbers of holes in those two directions. And this time, instead of length, I choose integer, because to controlling the numbers of some things, we should use an integer parameter and do the same steps just like before. And then click on new parameter, choose a name for it, and put a initial value. One more time, I do the same to create our second integer parameter for controlling the numbers of holes in the second direction. You can find all parameters which we've created according to our design here in tree diagram. And you can find all the relations which we've created in designing of this part so far in a tree diagram. I say it again, you will not see these changes in tree diagram if you didn't do the settings which I mentioned in first section. Just attention to these relations, they are very important. Now from the part body rectangular pattern, I relate the numbers of instance exactly in the same way I did it for other variables. Right click here, edit formula. The exact same window appears again. This time I put T, and right away you can see the changes here. Now I do the exact same thing in the second direction. Click on OK. If I click on preview, you can see all changes in numbers of holes. From now, we can change all the design characteristics of this part from here in 3D diagram. But it's not the end. In future sessions, I explain how you can add a design table to your design. For example, if I put 4 here, you can see the changes. Okay, I hope you find this session useful. Next session I will come with more complicated examples and more types of parameters.